rather than say I'm the last, I'd like to think that I can wrap it up. And you all get to go out after this. So bear with me for a few minutes. What I'm going to talk about today, not the nuts and bolts. I think you guys know that native plants are better, that they have deep roots, all this good stuff like that. And I listened to one other speaker and he said, don't let the facts get in the way of the story. So I won't bore you with facts today. But the bottom line is we're here to help you. And like it shows on this screen, you are coming to an environmental event today because of your experiences that you've had in the environment. We want to get more people out in the environment. We want to have people enjoy and the kids get out there and see these things and do these things. If the environmental message that you hear today stays in this room for golf days. So how do we get this out? There's a book by Wilson, Biophilia, and it talks about our love for nature. And it isn't that we in this room like nature, it's innate. Every human being wants to be closer to nature, whether they understand it or not. And being able to deliver this message to your kids and your grandchildren and your neighbors is a key point to make you more effective in being the environmental advocate that we want you to be. So you can look up on the internet and get the information on some of these books that I'll show you today. But it's a really good message, and it explains a lot of things in our lives. Why we have pets, why we like houseplants, why we go on vacation to Hawaii or Canada. We want to get away from the built environment a little bit, and we want a little bit of touch of nature. We want to connect better. So we understand that it makes us healthy, makes us feel comfortable. We like the Northern Arboretum, we like the forest or the park districts. Well, why do we like that? Because that's us. That's who we are. And we want a little bit more of that in our lives, and that's what I do with Conservation at Home, is find ways that we can connect better with nature and bring a little of that nature into your yard so that we can have these moments. We don't always have time to go out to the forest. So how do we connect on a daily basis with nature in a deeper way? I'm sure you have stories where you used to go to your grandpa's farm. I used to run across the street and go down by the river and play. And they shape our lives. And these little moments that we have out in nature are the key elements of what I heard today in these stories, is that people wanted something better. They wanted something nice for their community. They liked something down the street that connects them to nature a little bit deeper. So there's a benefit for us. Everybody's asking me, I'm a marketing guy, so what's in it for me? Why would I want to do this? And there's a bunch of reasons why we want to do these things. And it's well documented, it's not even a question, it's factual, this is the way it is. So if we can deliver that message a little bit easier to the non-believers that we're dealing with on a daily basis, it helps us achieve more in our environmental efforts. This is another book I just finished reading that my son gave me, and this particular sentence jumped out at me, that we can't achieve these things. We're going to be better if we understand that the connection is what's good for us. And people that I used to own a hardware store and had other things going on, I was just something about the nature just drawn me to it more. And I think we all feel that same thing. You probably wouldn't have taken time out of your life today to come here if you hadn't thought that the environmental side of things is important. We're kind of getting that understanding that it's everybody. So we have to awaken it in some others that are not here today that don't get it. So bottom line is I can help you with those things if we want to. We have a team of people at the Conservation Foundation that are skilled at different aspects of environmental work. You're not alone if you want to try and get out there and do some of these things. And the bottom line is danger is, Kate talked about it, there's danger in looking the other way and not seeing what's out there. So when you see these things, this is what got me started this is in my own community, this is what got me started in the environmental effort, is I couldn't stand this and I started making a fuss about it. did something about it. And it led me down a path where now I get paid to do some of the things that I really love to do. So we started a program. So I want to be able to sell nature, sell conservation, bring this to people. And it's been wildly successful. We have now franchised it into other counties. We have people here from McHenry and Lake County and Barrington area that are doing conservation at home. So residential programs. And the beauty is, I will come to your house. And so we learned at an early stage that I can't just hand you a paper and say, here, good luck. That there's more necessary parts of it. So if it means coming to your house, I'll come to your house. And you can see that we've been very successful in doing that. We put a plastic sign in front of your house, and I'm going to ask you to push it to your neighbor, and the neighbor across the way from them. And we've got dozens in here that have already been certified. So word of mouth gets out, and we want this to be the standard that people want to do in their neighborhoods. So how do I get a sign? I want to get that phone call. We expanded into business communities, so any property is a potential conservation site. And we've been successful in big corporation sites, small ones. I did a dental office, nature centers, you name it, we can work on it. And very simple concepts. It's not rocket science, it's something people can all get a grasp on, and nobody really argues with me. That's one of the beauties of the job, is that they're not arguing that this is a better way, they just don't know how to do it. And that's why I'm not going into the details today. It's January, this is the time to plan and think about things. We've got plenty of time to lay out your rain garden, talk about plants, where you can get the plants. All those things can come over a period of time. What we're doing today is thinking about, would I want to, why can't I, and am I going to? Thinking about it from a different point of perspective is thinking about that life depends on what we put in the environment. So all of the environments we have now been transformed and changed. And there's been a lot of negative effect because of the changes that we've made. Some of them are inadvertently done. We didn't realize what we were doing. But now we can look at it again and say, can we make changes that would be more beneficial? Using terms that other people coined, birdscaping. So there's nobody that sees these birds and says, well, I hate those. So I show them the prettiest birds, and everybody says, well, how do I get those? And then I'm off to the races. So again, it's sometimes it's marketing. We've all heard about the Monarchs. Even the White House now is notified or aware that we've got a problem with pollinators. So bringing that information, we build butterfly gardens. A lot of people are not ready to hear about bees, snakes coming to their yards, but they will hear about butterflies. And you follow the story of the monarchs, the greatest migration, insect migration in the world, and it's happening literally right in our backyard. And you see that they fly up to 3,000 miles of the butterfly in many generations. It's a wonderful story, and there's a huge problem. So it's as simple for us as changing the way we've been doing things and taking out some of the foreign hosta and different things that we've been growing and putting in milkweed and nectar plants that they can utilize. And show them how pretty these plants can be. And that we live in Illinois, this is the prairie state. So what would our landscape be? And start moving in that direction. Show them pictures. Left to right, which one's prettier? Left to right, which one has to be mowed every week? Left to right, which one's feeding the butterflies? And yet, what is the dominant landscape in our region? It's turfgrass. So as an organization, what are we going to do about that? We created a turf grass alternative. And we're working with DISO and Applied Ecological and Cardinal to create a shorter, pretty, yet effective and functional meadow, we're calling it, to replace the prairie, which people are not ready for in their communities, in their subdivisions, and in their areas where they resisted putting prairie before. Now we can go to a meadow, which is a shorter product and a little more acceptable in urban areas. Here's what it might look like along a roadway. So we have some mowed area to satisfy the traffic needs, and yet we have a bioswale that can absorb water, feed butterflies, and do all those good things. Some of the partners are out there today in the outside room, and we've got information about this metal mix at our table. You can see the problems we have on traditional landscaping and how that can be remedied with some of the things I've talked about today, and how pretty a well-managed native area can be. No geese in the meantime. Making these areas adjacent to our homes so that kids can get out in these native areas. Show people, we're a visual society. Show people how pretty these areas can be, and there's nothing to be afraid of close to our neighborhoods. We've got problems with our water, we're paving over things, we're draining it off, and the other side of the drain is the problem. So we've got to work on some of these issues. This is a rain garden at the farm. We turned from a dirt area like this to a beautiful prairie. We're showing them it's not magic, but we can do all these things. Rain barrels, simple things. We've got to keep promoting it. We've got to keep working through in our communities. We sold over 11,000 of them now. We're working on tree programs, showing people that grass is not meant to grow in a forest. We need trillium, we need bloodroot, we need these things in the oak forests that we've had across our region. And that oaks are a better tree for our area than other trees would be. The typical things that come up over and over again. I'm sure in your subdivision or your neighbors, these are things that you're looking at that are issues, and some of these can be addressed through landscaping. So we talked about it over and over again today. How do these projects start? And to give you homework for what to do as you leave here today. What is the common denominator? It's a champion. Somebody that wants to do something. Somebody wants to call me. I don't want to sit in my office. I want to do projects. And we need that champion in your community. I go where I'm asked to go. I'm in Wheaton if somebody calls me from Wheaton. I'm in Glen Ellen if they call me from Glen Ellen. And there are things that we all can do that makes the environment better. So that's what we're asking for you to do as you leave here today, is think about what you can do. And don't be afraid to do it, and you have to help doing it. And lastly, I just have, don't make me sit in my office. Thank you very much.